Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if this is your first time here. In today's video, I will be sharing with us how to sew a pencil skirt. In one of my earlier videos, I shared with us how to draft a basic pencil skirt pattern, and today I'm just going to be taking us through the sewing process. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in learning, keep on watching. Please hit that subscribe button if you're not yet subscribed. Like this video, share this video with your friends. If you have any questions or suggestions, drop it in the comment section, and turn on your post notification bell so that you'll be updated whenever I post new videos. And let's head straight into this tutorial. In order to sew this skirt, I will be making use of my basic pencil skirt pattern, which I already drafted in one of my previous videos. If you have no idea on how to draft a basic pencil skirt pattern, I'm going to be leaving a link in the description box below. So basically, this is me testing out this pattern to see that it works, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this pattern onto fabric and I'll cut it out. Like you can see, I use my pin to secure it in place and I cut it out onto my fabric. Now I'll bring back my pattern so that I can mark out my waistband. I'm going to be using a waistband of 1.5 inches. So what I will do is I'll start marking my 1.5 inch from the waistline of this pattern all the way around, and after marking it out on the front like this, I will use my ruler to connect the points. I'll also go ahead and repeat the same thing for the back pattern, and after doing that, I will use my scissors to cut it out. Okay, so go ahead and use whatever length of band you want. If you want 2 inches, mark 2 inches. If you want 1 inches, mark 1 inches. However, I am not going to be cutting out the waistband from this pattern. This is because I want my skirt to be more high-waisted. I just decided to mark this out for you guys to understand. For my front pattern, I have one piece for it unfold like I indicated on the pattern. So if I take out this pattern paper, you see that I have just one piece for the front, which is unfold. Taking that aside, my back piece, I have 2 pieces just like I indicated on the pattern. As you can see, I have 2 pieces for the back part of this skirt. I also made some slight adjustments. Okay, for the length of this skirt, I'm going to be using a length of 28 inches. Okay, I am going to be using a band of 1.5 inches. If I add that to my measurement, that's 29.5 inches. So that extra 1.5 inches will be to hem my skirt and attach my waistband to my skirt. So right here, what I'm doing is I'm going ahead to make tiny notches around this dart area. I'm transferring the dart area to my skirt, and I am measuring out the length of my dart. For my back, that is 8 inches, and for my front, I am basically going to do the same thing. I am just going to make tiny notches around the dart area so that I will know where to mark my dart on my main fabric, and I'll measure out the length of this dart, and it is 9 inches for my front dart. Guys, I love really long darts. You can adjust your darts to whatever length you want. So taking out my pattern paper, this is me marking chalk on this fabric to indicate that this is the back, because the front and the back, they look almost similar. Next, I'm going to introduce my band that I'll be adding to this skirt. This particular one I have is for the front and it is on fold. I have a total of 8 inches. 7 is a quarter of my waist measurement, and the remaining 1 inch is to join it at the sides. And for the back, I have a total of 9 inches. Okay, 7 is a quarter of my waist measurement, 1 inch is for zipper allowance, and the remaining 1 inch is to join it at the sides. I've also gone ahead to add some fusible interfacing to stabilize my waistband. Okay, I use a soft hairstay or cloth gum, whatever you guys call it. You can decide to have just one long piece for your waistband that will go round without having to divide it into front and back, but because this video is beginner friendly, I decided to split it like this for better understanding. So the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to sew in my darts. Okay, I am going to fold in my darts from those notches that I made earlier. I'm going to fold it in, and I'll bring my tape and measure out the length. If you remember, the length for the front was, I think, 9 inches, right? Yes, it was 9 inches. So I am going to mark that down there, and I'll take it to my sewing machine and sew it from 1/2 inch all the way into nothingness. And I'm going to do the same thing for the other side of the for the other dart for the front. I'm going to fold it in, using the notches as my guide, and I'm going to measure out the length of my dart, which is about 9 inches, and I'll also go ahead and sew it like this. So I'm basically going to do the same thing for the back pieces, but for the back piece the length of the dart is 8 inches. So I'm going to mark this down, and I'll do the same thing for the other back piece. After stitching down my darts, this is what I have. I also went ahead to iron this down to have a very relaxed seam. So I'm going to put this aside and bring back my waistband. So the original length of this waistband before ironing it in is 4.5 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this in by, like, let's say 1/2 inch, and fold it in again by 1.5 inches. So guys, after ironing my waistband, this is what I have. Like I said earlier, I folded it in by 1/2 inch and in again by 1.5 inches. So guys, you can see I have an extra 1/2 inch allowance under my waistband that is not folded in. So I'm going to take this and place it on the wrong side of my skirt for the front, and I'll stitch it down using that 1/2 inch allowance left on the band. I'm also going to be doing the same thing for the back. I'm going to be placing the band on the wrong side of my fabric, and I'll stitch this down. After stitching this down, guys, this is what I have. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use this folded edge to conceal this the raw part now, to cover up this my waistband like this. So I'm going to cover everything in like this, and I'm going to make a top stitch. I'll be doing the same thing for the back piece. I'll be using the folded edge of my waistband now to cover up that seam that I made, okay, and I'll make a top stitch. So guys, after stitching that down, you can see that I have finished up my waistband, and it's looking very clean both on the wrong side and on the right side. So the next thing I'm going to do is grab my scissors and use it to trim out any raw or any excesses I have on my waistband, okay. So after trimming out these excesses, I'm going to bring my two back pieces and I'll place this together, and I am going to be closing this at the center back around my zipper allowance area. So I'm going to bring my tape and I will mark about 8 inches, right, or 8.5 inches. Okay, I'm going to be marking 8.5 inches, and this is my zipper opening, okay. So I'm also going to be marking about 19 inches, okay, 19 inches. This is where my slit is going to start from, okay, that is for my slit. So from here I'm going to mark my 1 inch for my zipper allowance, and I'll take this to my sewing machine and I'll stitch this part down by 1 inch, okay. So guys, I have gone ahead to stitch this down using 1 inch. Guys, please make sure that you back stitch, anchor your stitch, especially around this slit area. I went ahead to anchor it back stitch like up to 2 times to make sure that that place is well secured so that it doesn't rip apart when you're walking. That is your slit opening. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the front piece of my skirt, and I will bring the back piece of my skirt and lay it onto the front piece of my skirt, right sides facing each other, and I'm going to align it properly at the sides, okay. So this is me aligning it properly at the sides, and after aligning this at the sides, I am going to go ahead and pin it down to secure this in place. After pinning this down, I'm going to take it to my sewing machine and I'm going to stitch both sides down using the 1 inch seam allowance that I added earlier in my pattern, and this is what I have after stitching it down. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to overlock all the raw edges using an overlocker. And after doing that, this is what I have. As you can see, everything is looking neat and clean. If you don't have an overlocker, you can use a bias tape to finish your raw edges. So the next thing I'm going to do is finish up this my slit area. Now, because I want a seamless finish around my slit area, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold in this my zipper allowance, that my 1 inch for zipper allowance. I'm going to fold it in and iron that down. Okay, I'm going to be using my hemming gum. I'll put my hemming gum now in between and I'll press it down using my iron to actually gum that down, and it will give me a very clean finish when I'm done. If you don't have a hemming gum around, just fold it down and make a stitch around, or you can decide to fold it in twice if you did not overlock your skirt. Okay, just fold it in twice and make your stitch. So guys, I've gone ahead and finished up my slit area using my hemming gum. As you can see, it's looking very clean and nice. If you decide to stitch yours down, it's still going to come out beautiful. Next, we are going to hem this skirt. You can either do this by folding this in twice and stitching it down, but again, I'm going to be going for that seamless finish just like I did for the slit. I'm going to be folding it in by my 1 inch for hemming allowance, and I'll use my hemming gum to finish that off. And after finishing it up with my hemming gum, guys, you can see it looks very beautiful and clean. Next, I'm going to pin down my zipper on this part that I left on my zipper, and I'm going to stitch this down, and I'll cut off the excess zip because it's a long zip. And here we have it, guys. Our pencil skirt is ready. I have attached my zipper. Everything is looking fine and neat. Look at the hem, guys, very clean. The slits, everything is looking very beautiful. And here it is, guys, our beautiful pencil skirt is ready. And I really love this pencil skirt because you can style it however you want. You can dress it up, you can dress it down. So guys, if you found this video helpful in any way, go ahead and leave a like for me so that more people can get to see my video. Please subscribe to this channel if you're not yet subscribed. Drop your questions and your suggestions in the comment section, and turn on your post notification bell so that you'll be updated whenever I post new videos. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.